The state of Alabama is a rich tapestry of history, culture, and nature. But perhaps one of its most intriguing aspects is its wealth of urban legends. These tales, often passed down through generations, weave a fascinating narrative of mystery, the supernatural, and sometimes the downright eerie. They are rooted in the state's past, intertwined with its present, and continue to shape its folklore, casting long shadows that reach into the future. These legends, seeping into the state's towns, rivers, forests and swamps, infuse Alabama with a sense of mystery and wonder. They make you question, make you wonder, and perhaps make you believe. After all, who's to say what's lurking in the dark corners of the world, waiting to be discovered, waiting to be believed? This is our personal top 10 urban legends from the state of Alabama. Dead Children's Playground. The Dead Children's Playground is a local urban legend in Huntsville, Alabama. It's also known as the Drost Park, and it's infamous due to the spooky tales associated with it. The playground is located in the middle of Maple Hill Cemetery, which is the oldest and largest cemetery in Alabama, dating back to 1822. The juxtaposition of a children's playground within a cemetery has given rise to a number of local legends and ghost stories. One of the most common stories is that the spirits of children who are buried in the cemetery come out to play in the playground at night. Witnesses have reported seeing swings moving on their own, orbs of lights floating around, and even spectral apparitions of children. Another darker story suggests that the playground is haunted due to a series of child abductions that allegedly occurred in the area during the 1960s. The abducted children were never found, and some versions of the tale suggest that their spirits returned to the area of their last happiness, the playground, and remain there. Hell's Gate Bridge. Hell's Gate Bridge in Oxford, Alabama, is a place that sends a chill down the spine of anyone who truly knows its eerie history. This old, derelict bridge has been the stage for inexplicable, otherworldly phenomena that have both fascinated and terrified locals for decades. The chilling tale originates from the tragic event in the 1950s. One fateful night, a young couple was driving over the bridge when they lost control of their car, careening off the bridge and into the dark, icy waters below. Tragically, they drowned, their lives abruptly cut short in the prime of their youth. But death, it seems, was not the end for these young souls. As the legend goes, if you dare to drive onto the bridge, switch off your car lights and sit silently in the pitch black, something utterly inexplicable happens. The apparitions of the young couple materialise within your car, leaving behind a tangible trace of their spectral visit, a patch of seat damp from the water of their watery grave. Many have attested to this unnerving experience, their conviction unshakable. Sally Carter's Grave. Sally Carter's grave in Huntsville, Alabama, is the epicentre of an enduring and haunting urban legend that has captivated the imagination of locals and visitors alike. Sally Carter was just 16 years old when she tragically passed away in 1837. She was laid to rest at the family plot, but her early death was just the beginning of her story. According to the legend, 74 years after her death, a boarder of the Carter mansion named Captain Cross fell gravely ill. During his delirium, he claimed to have been visited by a young woman who introduced herself as Sally Carter. She asked Cross to correct a mistake on her tombstone, an incorrect birth date. When Cross recovered from his illness, he visited Sally's grave and, sure enough, found the date was wrong. Furthermore, there have been reports of a spectral figure of a young woman, believed to be Sally herself, seen wandering around the mansion and the grounds of the property. Some have even claimed to see her near her tombstone in the Maple Hill Cemetery, where she was laid to rest. But the legend takes an even darker turn. In the late 20th century, a group of teenagers reportedly disturbed Sally's grave, desecrating her tombstone. Soon after, each of the teenagers met with a series of unfortunate events, from terrible accidents to sudden, unexplained illnesses. Many people connect these incidents directly to their disrespect of Sally's resting place. Crybaby Bridge. The Crybaby Bridge in Saraland, Alabama, is a place that echoes with a mournful legend as old as the town itself. It's a chilling story that blurs the lines between the natural and the supernatural, the living and the departed. The tragic tale centres around a young mother and her baby. One stormy night, their car veered off the road, crashing into the guardrail and plunging into the creek below the bridge. It is said that while the mother died on impact, the baby was thrown from the vehicle and swept away by the rushing water. Now, on dark, stormy nights, if you stop your car on the bridge, turn off the engine and the lights, and listen closely, you can hear the heart-rending cries of an infant echoing through the darkness. Some say it's the wind whistling through the trees, but believers know better. It's the lost spirit of the baby, forever separated from its mother, crying out for a comfort that will never come. And it's not just the phantom wails that make the Crybaby Bridge a place of eerie fascination. Some have reported hearing a woman's despairing voice, presumably the mother, calling out for her lost child. Others have even claimed to see a spectral figure of a woman, draped in white, searching along the banks of the creek, her forlorn cries joining those of her baby in a symphony of eternal sorrow. Hugging Molly. In the quaint and often quiet town of Abbeville, Alabama, a chilling legend has persisted through the years, defying reason and rationality. Hugging Molly is more than just a story. It's an eerie phenomenon, a spectral presence that haunts the very fabric of our town. They call her Hugging Molly, a phantom figure who lurks in the shadows when the sun goes down. She is said to be a toweringly tall, nearly 7 feet high, and as broad as a tree trunk, cloaked in layers of dark concealing clothing. Her figure is as daunting as her reputation. The legend tells us that Molly is non-malevolent in a traditional sense. She does not harm, but her chosen method of interaction is enough to send shivers down your spine. If she finds you, particularly if you are a child roaming the streets after dark, she'll sweep upon you like a sudden gust of cold wind. Then, in a heart-stopping moment, she wraps her arms around you, pressing you into an iron-like embrace, and screams into your ear. The cry, they say, is a sound so chilling, so unearthly, it stays with you long after her spectral figure has melted back into the darkness. Theories swirl around the origin of Hugging Molly. Some believe she was a tale spun by parents to keep wayward children at home after dark. Others whisper that she might have been a real woman, a bereaved mother lost in her own sorrow. Her love morphed into this terrifying nocturnal ritual. No matter the origin, the legend of Hugging Molly has taken root in the heart of Abbeville. The tale is so entrenched in the local culture, there is even a restaurant named in her honour, Hugging Molly's, where you can enjoy a meal amidst the local lore. Witch in the Woods. In Gadsden, Alabama, nestled within the dense, shadowy woods, lies a legend that has instilled fear and awe in the hearts of locals for generations. The legend tells of an old woman who lived in the woods surrounding Gadsden many years ago. She was a recluse, with a mysterious aura that kept the townsfolk at bay. Whispers circulated that she was a witch, practicing her dark arts away from the prying eyes of the town. They say that on certain nights, strange lights flicker deep within the woods, accompanied by eerie sounds, an echo of incantations, perhaps, or the ghostly howl of a spell-taking effect. It's also believed that the witch had the power to shapeshift, often taking the form of various animals to move undetected in the night. Then there are the stories of people who strayed too far into the woods, only to come back days later with no memory of their time lost, bearing only a blank stare and a deep-seated fear of the woods. Many believers connect these incidents directly to the witch, suggesting that she can control minds or even erase memories. Her presence is felt most profoundly at the heart of the woods, where a dilapidated old cabin stands. It's said to be the witch's home and is a place few dare to approach, even in broad daylight. The Curse of the River Serpent. Alabama's folklore is rich with tales that capture the imagination, but none is more enthralling than the legend of the river serpent, a creature that is said to reside in the murky depths of the Coosa River. The river serpent, according to local law, is an enormous creature, more massive than any known river-dwelling animal. It's often described as long and serpent-like, its scales shimmering in the sunlight, its eyes gleaming with an almost otherworldly glow. Many who claim to have seen it speak of a spine-chilling presence, an inexplicable feeling of dread that lingers long after the creature has disappeared beneath the water's surface. But the legend doesn't stop at mere sightings. It's said that the river serpent carries with it a dark curse. Anyone who catches a glimpse of this fearsome creature is fated to experience a run of terrible misfortune, accidents, financial ruin, loss of loved ones. These are the tragic consequences that, according to the legend, befall those who cross paths with the river serpent. Bear Creek Swamp. Bear Creek Swamp, located in Autauga County, Alabama, is a place where nature and the supernatural intertwine in an eerie, inexplicable ballet. I can't help but be drawn to the mystery and the uncanny tales that surround this ancient, secluded swamp. This place is an immense bog, home to alligators, snakes, and other creatures. But according to the local legends, there are more than just animals lurking in the murky waters and dense foliage. It's said to be haunted by phantom lights, the ghosts of Native Americans, and even the spirits of settlers who lost their lives in the swamp. The most chilling tale, however, involves the apparition of children. Many visitors have reported hearing the disembodied laughter of children echoing through the still swamp air, a sound both innocent and chillingly out of place. Some have even claimed to see ghostly children, dressed in early 19th century clothing, who disappear when approached. But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Bear Creek Swamp is the inexplicable presence of baby dolls. These dolls, often appearing dirty and weathered, are discovered perched in the trees or floating on the swamp's surface. No one can explain their origin, but many believe they are connected to the spectral children, possibly toys from a bygone era, now serving as eerie relics of the past. The Vanishing of Orion Williamson. The Vanishing of Orion Williamson is a tale that has become an enduring part of the folklore in Selma, Alabama. I find the story both intriguing and unsettling, a chilling testament to the inexplicable phenomena that exist in the world around us. Orion Williamson was a farmer living a simple life with his wife and son near Selma. One hot summer day in 1854, he was sitting on the porch of his farmhouse, watching his son play in the field. As his wife brought out a pitcher of lemonade, Williamson decided to join his son. He stood up, stepped off the porch, and began walking across the field. And then, in front of his wife and son, and a neighbour who happened to be passing by, Orion Williamson simply vanished. One moment he was there, walking across the field, and the next he was gone, as if he'd been erased from existence. A search party was quickly formed, and they combed the entire area for any sign of Williamson, but found nothing. The field where he disappeared was dug up, The surrounding woods were searched, but there was no trace of him. It was as if the earth had opened up and swallowed him. What makes the tale of Orion Williamson's disappearance even more eerie is the reports that followed. For months after he vanished, his wife and son claimed to hear his voice, faintly calling out for help, as though he were trapped somewhere nearby. But no matter how hard they searched, they never found him. To this day, the disappearance of Orion Williamson remains a mystery. Some speculate he fell into a sinkhole that quickly closed up, while others propose theories of alien abduction or interdimensional portals. Skeptics dismiss the story as a myth, a tall tale. Downy Burger. The legend of the Downy Burger is one of those chilling tales that has seeped into the very roots of Alabama's folklore. It's a story of the uncanny, a tale that sends shivers down your spine. The Downy Burger, a creature said to reside in the vicinity of Downy, Alabama, is described as a monstrous being, a grotesque blend of a man and beast. Its piercing eyes are said to glow in the dark, while its towering figure and chilling presence are enough to strike fear in the heart of anyone unfortunate enough to cross its path. According to the legend, the Downy Burger is a nocturnal creature, emerging from its lair only when the sun has set. It's said to roam the surrounding woods and fields, its eerie cries echoing through the still night air. Many locals claim to have heard these cries, a sound so haunting and unearthly, it's enough to make your blood run cold. But the Downy Burger is not just a creature of sound and shadow. There have been sightings too. Witnesses describe a humanoid figure, hulking and covered in fur, with glowing eyes that cut through the darkness. The sight of the creature, they say, is enough to send a chill down your spine, a deep sense of dread that lingers long after the Downy Burger has disappeared into the night. There you have it, 10 terrifying urban legends out of Alabama. If you know of any urban legends from Alabama that we may have missed, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.